Are you thinking about moving to Monmouth or Independence and you're wondering if one of those cities might be right for you? Well, in this video, I'm going to cover 5 different things you should know before moving to Monmouth or Independence. Hey, I'm Tyler Thomas with eXp Realty. I'm a local realtor here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. I'm going to cover things like the overall size of Monmouth and Independence, the location, the weather, the schools, and the overall cost of living of both cities. If you got any questions or you want to see how I can help you move to one of these great cities, go ahead and reach out. My information is in the description below. And you can subscribe to my channel for more information about Monmouth, Independence, and all the surrounding cities. So let's go ahead and get started. And first we're going to talk about the size of Monmouth and Independence. As far as size goes, Monmouth and Independence are both what we're kind of considering on the smaller side. There's around 11,000 people that live in Independence and around 10,000 people that live in Monmouth. A fair amount of this overall is going to be students that go to Western Oregon University over in Monmouth. I'm going to cover Western also in the schools section of the video. There's a fair amount of apartment complexes in town with a few different ones getting added recently. You're also going to have things like duplexes as well as your single family homes. As a whole, both cities have more of a relaxed feel. We've also got a fair amount of activities to do throughout the year. And there's definitely more to do as far as eateries and activities to do in town than when I graduated from Western 12 years ago. As far as Monmouth goes, there's definitely been a good amount of upgrades and new businesses happening downtown. And Monmouth does have some great eateries. You've got things like Easty Beasties for pizza, you got Mamiti Sushi, Sing Fe, you've got a newer Mediterranean restaurant, you've got French food now, you've got the Sipri for coffee. Also, you've got things like Dry Town Tap Station, which is now popular. My personal favorite, Yank's Teriyaki. So it's safe to say for the town size, there's definitely a fair amount of choices. Larger shopping options are going to be pretty much Bi-Mart and then a newer Roth's. And right next to what is the boundary between Monmouth and Independence is also a Walmart. Now, as far as Independence goes, there's also a fair amount of shopping and eateries. Along Monmouth Street, you've got some great places like Mindy's Pizza. You've also got Los Dos Amigos by the grocery outlet. And if there's one thing these cities definitely have, it's grocery options. You've also got a high school pharmacy and hardware. You've also got Chase Bar and Grill and others. Downtown Independence has also become extremely popular with its different shops and eateries as well. There's a lot of people that come into Independence just for this reason because they like the different selection that Independence has now as far as the restaurants and these bars go. So you'll see quite a good nightlife now. And here you've got things like a winery tasting room, you got multiple cafes, you got the Golden Hop Bar and Grill, and the tap station as well. A lot of great spots to go ahead and get a drink, bite to eat, and just enjoy the evening. And most of your big shopping is going to be over in Salem. And that definitely goes for Monmouth as well. So the Monmouth Independence area just tends to do most of their shopping, their bigger shopping, over in Salem. A great thing about both cities is kind of a good emphasis they have on getting out, enjoying the outdoors, as well as the local music scene. Monmouth City Park has had a lot of great upgrades lately and also has a newer amphitheater which has different concerts throughout the summer. And you've also got right downtown, different locations with live music also. Independence also has their great amphitheater right down Riverview Park that has a lot of music options as well throughout the summer. And the biggest activity that both these cities put on is the 4th of July celebration. You'll have a huge parade starting over in Monmouth and it'll go all the way to the easternmost part of Independence, Riverview Park, where you're going to have a lot of stalls and activities, concert, as well as at the end of the night, you're going to have the fireworks show. People definitely come from all over. I went just a couple years back with my kids. They loved it. There's a lot of different music, kiosks, art, just a lot of stuff going on. And there's definitely been a fair amount of growing going on in town. You've got a couple of different locations with some newer builds going in. So I kind of expect that to happen quite a bit more in the future. Now next up, we're going to talk about the location of both Monmouth and Independence. When talking about location, we can definitely look at it in the way of your proximity to other areas for both activities and outdoor recreation. We're also going to go ahead and look at it in the way of commuting. So for work, is it a good place for commuting in and out of town? And what are your options nearby? Now directly along Highway 99 is Monmouth. Highway 99 is one of the main highways in the area, and it's going to be connecting all the way from south past Eugene up to the Portland area. So just generally, it's a great area for being able to get on 99 and be able to move around with ease. You can also take River Road, which is going to be over to the eastern section of Independence. It's a good back way to get to Salem if you are commuting, especially to the southern end of Salem. You can also take Highway 22 just north of Monmouth and Independence. That's going to be your main way usually to get to Salem, as well as heading towards the coast, getting over to Lincoln City. And getting to Salem from Highway 22 usually will take you about 20-25 minutes depending on traffic. You've also got Dallas relatively nearby. Now if you go over along Highway 99, there's a couple of different routes you can take, but usually it's about a 15-minute drive. And to the south is both Corvallis and Albany, and both of these cities are also about 25 minutes. Now say you're looking to go to the beach, you're about an hour away from Lincoln City, which is great. You're also only about an hour, 10 minutes away from Portland. And up there you're going to have most of the bigger concerts and activities, so that also isn't all too far away. You're also going to have to the east the Cascade Mountain Range, and getting over that is going to be Central Oregon. So along the range you're going to have a lot of your skiing, your snowboarding, and a whole lot of different mountain biking and hiking opportunities as well. This is definitely my favorite part of living in the area. It's just kind of what I feel like, and most people feel like, is central location. You kind of get to anywhere you want with relative ease, and it really doesn't really take you a long time to get anywhere from, the mountains, the coast, Portland, even getting down to Eugene. Just kind of everything isn't all that far away. And Independence is right along the Willamette River, so you're going to have all the things that go along with that as well. Now we're going to discuss the overall cost of living of both Monmouth and Independence. And pretty soon I have planned a full video covering this that'll go really in depth on both Monmouth and Independence as the cost of living. So this is going to be kind of a smaller analysis, but soon look out for that video looking at everything. I will, however, share that both Monmouth and Independence, based upon bestplaces.net, which is a website often used to get different ratings and grades on cities and other things, it has a score of 108.2, which means the total cost of things like housing, utilities, your food, pretty much most things is 8.2% higher than the national average. So we're going to look at how Monmouth and Independence stack up to some of their neighboring cities as well. Now a place like Monmouth and Independence and say somewhere like Corvallis is going to have some of the biggest difference. Usually it's around $80,000 to $100,000 for a home, which is a lot. And it's definitely a reason why a lot of people will tend to work in Corvallis and then commute up to Monmouth and Independence. Places like Albany, Dallas, and Salem will definitely more reflect the prices kind of matching more of Monmouth and Independence. Polk County, where both Monmouth and Independence is located, is more kind of in the middle as far as price goes when compared also to some of the neighboring counties. Recently, prices have shifted quite a bit back and forth, but just generally, this is true. This past month, the median price for a home in Polk County was $440,000. The median for Marion County, which is most of Salem and other cities, was $450,000, and Lynn County nearby was $360,000. And then there's Benton County, which is just always a lot more. That was $550,000. Like I said, there has been some shifting in prices, but I will give you the past 2 months for the median sale prices of some of the neighboring cities. So for West Salem, which is the Polk County side of Salem on the west side of the Willamette River, was $440,000 in February, and it was $397,000 for a home in January. It usually has about a third of total home sales as the rest of Salem. It's usually mid to upper 400s, and sometimes even dips into the low $500,000 range. So West Salem is typically, for the area, more expensive. These past 2 months haven't necessarily shown that, but just historically, that kind of has been true. Now for the rest of Salem, which is the Marion County side, the median price for a home in February was $432,450. January was $442,495. Now looking at Albany, in February was $421,245. January, $404,650. In Dallas, for both January and February, had no movement at $445,000. Then this Corvallis for February was $570,000. January was $569,000. When looking at these prices, a lot of it kind of tends to do with what's currently available. In larger cities, we'll just tend to have more things going on, different activities and shopping, so that can also have a little bit of an effect as well. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the weather of both Monmouth and Independence. So for our area, we have what is often referred to as temperate rainforest-like conditions, and that's pretty much west of the Cascades, because that mountain range is really going to block a lot of the moisture. We do always tend to get the rep for always being wet, and we always have that kind of a running joke where if you see a person with an umbrella, they must be probably out of town or visiting, because yeah, you really don't see a lot of umbrellas around. And in the winter, with it getting dark around 4:35, the days can definitely feel short. During the months of November to March, sometimes it's honestly not that bad, and then sometimes you're just getting hit with rain constantly, and it kind of sucks. Recently, this year, it's actually been pretty damn good. We haven't really experienced any, week-long things of rain. We've had like 2 frost days, no snow, so it's been pretty abnormal. But a lot of people have been liking this year. I'm just sure we're gonna pay for it in summer with probably wildfires. We don't get much snow, and when we do, it tends to be about 2 inches, and doesn't seem like a lot for other parts of the country. We'll just shut down. We're not built for this. We don't got the infrastructure or the equipment. So once we get that, what other places might think is a light dusting, people are not going out on the roads, schools are closing, we just shut down. Summers are usually pretty comfortable. We're usually kind of in the 70s and 80s. We will dip into the 90s, maybe go like a week stretch. It's pretty rare. Even rarer is getting into the hundreds. Doesn't really happen all that often. And, much like the snow, we're not built for that either. So people really kind of tend to stay inside just because we really don't get those 100-degree days. And now we're going to talk about the schools of Monmouth and Independence. And what the area is definitely known for is Western Oregon University, which I mentioned earlier, over in Monmouth. As I said, I graduated from there about 12 years ago. I got my degree, I was a member of the track team, and it is just an awesome college. The D2 college, it's got around 3,700 students, and it's pretty popular with all the surrounding cities and counties, so you get a lot of local kids going there. As far as the K through 12 schools, you're going to be having that in the Central School District, it's called. And with the area basically having 2 conjoined cities, a lot of these schools are centrally located. With the high school being called Central High School, having around 1,000 students, and it definitely is central located. It's kind of right in the middle of both Monmouth and Independence. And in the area, you're going to have 3 elementary schools. So you got Monmouth Elementary, kind of centrally located in Monmouth, Independence Elementary over in the central part of Independence. And then you got Ash Creek, which is going to be right along the same road as Central High School, as well as the middle school. And the one middle school for the area is the Talmadge Middle School. And like I said, it's right next to Central High School. As far as rankings go for the school, I use niche.com for all of my data when looking at schools and things in cities. I like to use data and not just my personal thoughts. So you can go ahead and look at that. I'll leave a link in the description. So you can go ahead and look at the different ratings for all the schools in the city. And of course, not everyone will agree with some of these ratings that you might see online. Some might think that it's a bit too high. Some might think the gradings are not high enough. So, you can go ahead and look on there and kind of decide for yourself. And on niche.com, the district as a whole receives a C- grade. So you can go ahead, look on there and kind of see where each school lies, do a little digging and research for yourself. And that's it. These are 5 different things you should look at when deciding if Monmouth or Independence is right for you. And if you want more information about Monmouth or Independence, you can go ahead and reach out to me. I'd be glad to kind of help you see if Monmouth or Independence is a good fit for you. My information is in the description below, so you can go ahead and give me a call, text, email me, whatever's easiest for you. Like I said, my name is Tyler Thomas with eXp Realty. You're looking to buy or sell from Salem to Eugene and everything in between. I'm your guy.